Hello and welcome! Wow, what a rocky intro that was.
Yeah.
This is the Hat Chat podcast featuring me, Ross Hornby, and this
Me,
guy.
Chris Trott.
And me, Alan Smith.
And this, my dog Mochi.
Oh,
If you hear
the
some
dog's here.
scuffling around.
Oh, you introduced the dog before Craig. Ah,
Oh, yeah,
Craig's here
here.
too.
Hello.
He's not as cute though.
I'm not.
Also, right in my periphery.
Yeah.
He's not. Craig is invisible.
He's always behind you.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, welcome. First, some disclaimers.
Oh, of course, always. There will be swearing and words that may be sexual. I don't know why,
Well, like,
but
goddamn.
sometimes it happens.
That's
Like
hot.
nipple. Like, please don't touch my nipple, Smith.
Please.
We're in the middle of a
Not
recording.
again.
We're doing a podcast. They're not for you.
No.
Mochi, stop biting Trott's nipples. That's really strange that
I
you've
want one.
become
Don't eat
conditioned
that
to do
whole
that.
burger. I want a bit of that burger nip.
Oh, yeah. Medium rare, please.
Yes, of course, the fingal was by Stephen Graham if you want to send in your fingals.
Of course.
Stephen Graham.
Stephen Graham.
Taking
Graham.
a Tom Morello inspiration, his
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, no, you can,
Oh,
hear,
okay.
you
Very
definitely
much
hear it.
sound like rage.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
But yeah, send yours into hatchat
Where?
at hat-films.com.
Where?
Hatchat
Where?
at
Where?
hat-films.com.
Wow.
Honestly,
Thanks,
it
Mochi.
couldn't be easier than that.
It's so easy.
Yes.
It's so quick and simple.
It's very quick and simple. Now, today we don't really have a specific talking point.
No.
Like we did last week was our music. Some people have requested more of that, so maybe in the future we can do a music 2.0 where we discuss
the next generation or whatever.
the
we call
next
it.
generation. Yeah, we'll delve deep into other things
Well, I know that
without
we
repeating
we
ourselves.
said
which
last
is
time
impossible.
that we could talk about this for hours, but I figured out actually no, that's where my knowledge ends, and I've got nothing else
You've
to
had
say about
zero-
music.
Yeah,
Oh.
nothing else. I
Literally
feel like we could
nothing.
probably
That's
get specific questions.
You're tapped out.
Through,
I'm done.
But I get it. That's fair enough, and that's why today we are talking about. Apparently, Ninja's move to Twitch is on here.
Well, he's moved
To
to
Mixer.
I don't know who wrote that, but that's
I
literally what
did.
it says on here,
I
Trot.
did.
And I read it like a buffoon. But he
Moved
moved
from
he
Twitch,
moved
I
to
We got the
Mixer.
blind leading the blind up in here.
Are we going to take a guess at how much he probably got paid for that crazy ass deal?
It was a 3-year contract.
Is it?
Oh, you know the facts. Okay. Sorry, I was going to
I don't know the money,
ballpark figures.
but we
okay.
could ballpark it. So on
Fuck
average, he gets like 100,000 subscribers a month.
Does he?
He has
100,000
had.
subs a month.
Is he, Craig?
Oh,
What do you reckon?
God, it's unreal.
You put me on the spot. I can't remember.
How many subs
It
do you
was
reckon
something
Ninja
crazy.
has? I'm sure our chat will
don't
know.
know.
Well,
I'll,
let's say
Google it now.
we can do this in a way that it's an example that also scales up. So let's say they had 10,000 subs,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And let's say they get half of a $5 Twitch subscription, depending on the deal they've
250.
negotiated. That's a standard deal. He probably had a better one than this. So let's say
250,000.
so
for 10,000
so
subs.
10,000. So you're getting 25,000
25,000. Yeah.
a month or 300,000 a year. Is that?
Dear God.
Yeah,
mean-
I think it's 300,000 a year, and that's at 10,000 subs. So if you had 100,000,
3 million.
you're
yeah.
looking at £3 million.
3 million a year. So
then
on
donations
average,
on top of that. Which
Oh yeah.
I can't
But
even
again, like that's
fathom.
platform agnostic.
Sponsorships he's already got. I mean, would they carry over? Do you imagine?
I assume, yeah,
Imagine it
platform
just
agnostic, isn't it?
makes
It's
no
not like they're
difference, yeah.
tied with Twitch. However,
let's say if he did get paid, because there could be loads of other ways that they could give him benefits. They could give him
there's a
stock.
rumor
they could
going
give
around
him
that
all
he's got
sorts of-
equity in
Yeah,
Microsoft.
I mean, that would make sense. Like stock, when you're doing a move like that, makes lots of sense. But let's say he did get paid cash. I think it's not unreasonable to suggest that he would be paid upwards of $10 million to move.
10 million.
I wouldn't. Well, I mean, if
I feel like
if
it'd be
his-
more than that.
if
It's
his-
gotta be
yeah,
comfortable,
It
yeah.
could potentially be. If his subscriber count is getting him that kind of money already, then why not?
How do you feel about your favorite streamer moving from your favorite platform to a rival platform?
I don't think it's going to make much difference. Competition is always good for the market. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's good that. Well, it's interesting that you got this behemoth of Microsoft
Mhm.
weighing in against Amazon.
Mhm.
It's
Which is
Amazon
also a behemoth.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Amazon's a bigger company than Microsoft.
at this point, I think so.
Yeah.
He hit 1 million subscribers on Mixer in 5 days.
1 million.
What paying?
I don't know if that's paying
Not gonna
subscribers.
be paying.
That
That's
can't
got to
be
be like
paying.
followers, right?
Yeah. That'd be followers.
Holy crap! 1 million
I'm
subscribers
also
would be
impressed
insane.
that many
5
people
million a
have
month.
moved over, like from or like
Have
chosen
they?
to. Well,
Well,
they
they
would
just-
if they're following it, right?
The thing is, like, I relate this to say PewDiePie on his D Live platform, his
right,
blockchain
yeah.
platform.
Mhm.
Everyone goes there to watch PewDiePie live stream because that's the only place to watch PewDiePie live stream.
Mhm.
However, how is that translating to the other creators on there that are starting up?
Yeah.
Are people hanging around afterwards, or are they just going on for PewDiePie off?
Yeah.
I'm looking around the platform of DLive and I'm seeing people with like 50 viewers, 100 viewers, but nothing even touching PewDiePie levels.
Yeah.
So how much is it actually going to benefit? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it does benefit, and I hope there is a good rival platform that kind of kicks Twitch into gear and
Mm-hmm.
keeps them competitive and not complacent.
I mean, so ultimately, like, what is the point of the platform in terms of like, are Microsoft moving him over to generate money for Mixer through like subscriptions and interactions, or are they simply moving him there so they have another product essentially
They need to compete, right?
that then they can have value within, and like, you know, like it's almost a bit like if you look at sports, like at the NBA and like football and everything like that, like certain players will be held up and used as a marketing product, right? So like Michael Jordan's an obvious one from a long time ago. More recently, LeBron James, with football, Cristiano Ronaldo, and who's the other guy? Messi, right?
Top footballers, yeah.
They essentially then become heroes for the sport, essentially, and the idea of spending money within that sphere, I guess. Like, but with Mixer, like with him coming over to Mixer, is it simply that they want, like you say, multiple people using the platform, so then they get that stream of that share of that subscription money?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it would be
Like-
because these subscriptions are free right now, so you get given
Yeah.
2 free months of subscriptions to his channel in an attempt to
Right.
bring
Then
many
they're
people
going to
over
be
to the
offered
platform.
to renew it, aren't
And
they?
it's $5.99 a month.
$5.99?
$5.99. But obviously that's probably what, £4.99, I imagine.
Yeah.
But
the
I think
UK.
it's oh yeah, maybe.
But they'll
I don't
they'll
know.
probably match what Twitch does,
I
right?
assume so.
And then you can also earn money through the Sparks currency, which is like bits on Twitch.
Sparks and bits.
Now, yeah, I mean, it's a good tactic, really, right? I mean,
Poaching.
Mixer was quiet. It was whenever we used it only a couple of times for like Microsoft related things.
Their Xbox
And yeah,
official
like,
stuff.
You know, very small numbers in comparison. Like people
Yeah.
weren't really using it, so they
Hundreds at
needed
best.
something to kind of kick them into
I
relevancy, right?
I think the fact that they've got hardware that will also only stream to Mixer, like, you know, their Xbox. So the way I see it, right, we're coming from a point in Twitch and YouTube where it was a different landscape. Like we're very much like part of the grassroots, more like gonzo approach to doing things in YouTube and Twitch, whilst people like the Disney guys like Logan Paul on YouTube, and if you look at like the way that Ninja's doing streaming and stuff, they're approaching this from a completely different angle, and whether or not they actually have followers because there are just so many Xboxes in everybody's houses. So imagine like how the way that kids, it's the same with kids channels on YouTube, right? Kids and all that stuff has exploded because they're consuming media in a completely different way to what the way we do.
It was like the children's Minecraft effect with like Stampy.
Just
back
put
in
them
the
on in
day.
front of a series of
Yeah.
playlists.
Put them on the front of the Xbox YouTube app, and boom, that's getting recommended.
And now with Ninja moving over, why wouldn't that also happen with the Mixer app on Xbox? So now instead they're just going to put Ninja in front of everybody on the Mixer app and get people using it that way. I think that the fact that they've got hardware in like so many homes around the world that could help, and they just needed this product to go. Mixer's a big thing now.
True.
Like,
but then you got like the Twitch app on all these consoles anyway. So
do.
what are they doing differently? Obviously,
they could stop supporting it. They
They
could stop
could.
supporting
Yeah.
Twitch perhaps, like, or stop updating it, or make Mixer better.
Well, I mean, the Twitch app on TVs is they're getting rid of that on some
Are they?
models of TVs. Yeah.
Well, they didn't ever have it on Samsung,
They did.
did they?
Yeah, but
An
it went away.
unofficial one.
Yeah, but it was shit.
On Xbox,
Like
it's pretty
many
good.
apps on those TVs.
On PS4, sorry, it's pretty good.
Mhm.
I think it's really well made. Recent updates, but yeah, I think it's good for Twitch to have Mixer doing this because it's good for us on Twitch, for example, because they're gonna have to start bringing out features and stuff to make sure that people are retaining their creators.
And they have to start spending money on creators. Like,
Yeah.
not saying that Twitch don't spend money on creators, but there's this very dangerous element of tech companies where they just start piling up cash because they can. And like you say, I think the competition element there is going to mean that they're going to have to start spending a bit more money, perhaps offering better CPMs. And yeah, it is. It's a good thing, really.
I think so.
I mean, am I going to watch Ninja? No.
Probably not. No. Would
I
we move
did-
over to
I did
But did
subscribe.
I before? No, I don't.
Probably not. You
I
subscribe?
tuned in to watch his first stream because I was interested.
Yeah.
I assume that's what a lot of people did. It's like, I'm interested to see what's happening here.
Yeah.
Whether that has any longevity, I've not watched him since.
Sure. I mean,
But I was
you're probably
interested
not
to
a big
see.
fan of him anyway, right? As in, did you watch his stuff?
No,
No.
not really. But I'm always interested to see what the big players of the platforms are doing, and like how they're succeeding and what they're doing differently from the rest of us. Because it's sometimes inspirational, sometimes really frustrating,
and just
it's
shocking that's
that's the top
certain
thing.
Things are.
It's like I'd never do that, but that is what's the top of the platform right now.
Yeah, and at the very least, like, he's not doing what some people have done to get big. Like, for a long time, YouTube, again, with like Logan Paul and people like that, they got big on YouTube for being complete fucking dysfunctional assholes. Like, really just being dickheads. And
it's like car crash.
Yeah.
Watching.
Exactly.
Kind of
yeah. And I felt like that was a really negative, toxic way for people to, like, be raised up. But at least with Ninja, like, I'm not saying he's a perfect guy, but on the whole, he seems fairly vanilla. As in, like, there's nothing particularly...
He's relatively harmless.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like his content isn't harmful as a core. Sure, he may have off moments where he's done and said some stupid stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like doing 12-hour streams on energy drinks, I'm sure that would do it to you.
Yeah.
However, his content inherently isn't based on offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Just, he's not trying to outrage people.
No, he's just trying to
He's just good at games.
He's trying to play well. Yeah. And that's, again, something we could never do.
Yeah.
Playing well,
yeah.
And get big off that. But, we know our place.
I think we do.
In the sphere.
And that's to quietly talk about other people and hope they'll hear it.
Well, even if they do, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. But that kind of switches over to what has happened recently with like the gun violence topic and video games, and like people are now blaming once again that it always comes up.
Cyclical.
I think whenever anything
tragic
like this happens. But quite a lot more people are now saying, video games is blame, or violent films and stuff. Like,
I was playing.
How much of that do you think has any kind of validity?
Well, I was playing Minecraft earlier today, and then I noticed. As I was digging iron out of the ground, there wasn't enough of it. So I immediately got my handgun.
Annoying, of course.
And felt the compelling need.
Naturally,
Look, it's not the video game that's doing it. I mean, you're going to get inspiration for doing horrible things from anywhere. You're not...
Sure, yeah.
Just because video games exist doesn't mean there's so many other like outlets out there that can drive you, give you the idea for the thing that you're already going to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the media that's causing you to do tragic things like mass shootings. They may give you the idea of the best gun to use and how to shoot it. Because
I guess so. I don't know.
At the same time, though, like there's loads of people that play Call of Duty and know the best guns in the game and how to shoot them, and we go to gun ranges and stuff and play them.
Yeah.
We're not driven to be mass murderers
no.
at
all.
all.
In fact, actually, that's an interesting point because we went to a gun range when we were in America not too long ago.
And you didn't want to kill everybody.
And it's vastly different. Like anything. Like when someone says, "Oh, this driving sim's really realistic," but it's not going to help you learn how to drive a car properly.
Well,
obviously, it might inspire you in certain ways, but like you're going to get into a car and it's going to be a completely different situation, right?
Yeah, well, I can.
So
learn
when
to
we
fly a
fired
plane.
those guns at the gun range, not only was it obviously just a pain in the ass reloading them and whatever, and like the reality of that was very different, and then firing these fucking powerful weapons, it's not the same at all. You could,
based on like knowing how a gun functions.
Yeah,
sure, you could learn that from a game. You can learn it from a book. You can learn it from the fucking Fox News when they keep showing footage of guns being shot. Like it's no different, I don't think. Like sure, video games are more immersive. Like you get into your role, you become a person that shoots guns.
Yeah,
doesn't make you a mass murderer. Like I think there's an inherent flaw in the person, and ultimately they were potentially going to do that anyway.
Right, yeah.
And sure, there's loads of influences around them that may have enhanced or may have sped up the process or put them in a certain direction, but I think there's a problem elsewhere, not with media that they're consuming.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Let's hear from Mochi now.
Get nice and close to that mic.
It's a multifaceted thing, isn't it? Like
Bit closer.
Personally, and I think I've said this before. Personally, and I say this in the most idealistic way.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually pro-gun.
Sure. In what sense?
I think that people should
be allowed... Is that like Shogun, but...
It's like Shogun, but Krogan. Or like Krogan from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I think that people should be, and I say this because it's in an idealistic way, because I know that like libertarianism is hard to actually implement. I think that people should be allowed to own guns. I don't see why they shouldn't be. Simply because they're a danger to other people isn't necessarily a reason to stop a person from having something. It's the same.
But I don't think it's about gun ownership in America right now. It's about controlling who has the guns, right?
And
do you think that's an issue,
games.
Or do you think everyone should have a gun,
think they're related.
regardless of whether they have previous convictions?
I think they're related.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. This is why I'm saying an idealistic way, because I know that it's not simple as just saying people should be allowed to do whatever the hell they want as long as it doesn't hurt other people, because it's more complex. People are more complex than that.
Yeah.
But like,
the people aren't infallible.
The problem is there's this idea. America, if we're talking about America in general, they are addicted to this idea of freedom.
Yeah.
And I understand it to an extent, because we've been to America. It's this wide open space. Like they're fairly liberal in some respects and all that sort of stuff.
I guess isn't it good to say that the ethos of the government and general culture is about freedom, not necessarily every single American?
Yes, but it is very much ingrained in our society. Just like in the UK, we have certain.
You got a queue.
There's elements of our society where we're like that, and I think that when people say like, "Oh, my Second Amendment rights" and all this sort of stuff, it's like I think Americans get fed this idea of freedom and like all this other stuff, like particularly by politicians and things like that. You say like, "Oh yeah, we're free, we're the most free country in the world," but the only way they go, "Oh yeah, that sounds great," right? What actual legal backing have we got from that? And they go, "Oh no, Second Amendment rights for owning guns." Like, I think that must be really confusing to an American citizen to hear things like that and then feel that they can do what they want as long as they don't hurt other people. And then people come along and go like, "We got to get rid of all guns." Like, that would be a quick solution. It would never happen. You'd never be able to implement it.
It's impossible to take all those guns away now.
But like, I
so
can see the problem. And yeah, like you were saying earlier. Sorry, I'm trying to turn this into a coherent comment. So like, do I think games make people violent? No, I don't. Like, do I think that, like you said earlier, if a person is in a certain state of mind, and are there factors that can influence it? Absolutely. But those factors come from everywhere. Like, games are like just one part of art, culture, and media.
Are they worse than others?
No, well, so this is the thing. So I think about this with LARP as well. Like, human beings are escapists. Like we like to pretend. When we're kids, we pretend all the time. It's our way of freeing our mind, I think. And like LARP as well has that same feeling of like, I'm pretending, I'm making things up. Games as well. Games are often spoken of as an escape. Like, I want to escape into this world. I want to pretend to be a space pirate. I want to pretend to be a criminal in GTA. I want to pretend to be a guy playing golf in a minigame golf. Like, the difference comes, the problem comes when that person no longer thinks they're pretending, and that idea of that suspension of disbelief is broken, and they're just thinking like,
I think it is that, but also just a case of not necessarily being so immersed in it that you think you are it, but just like getting so invested in it, so it causes emotions that are unnecessary.
I don't think that happens.
Like, you can get really into a game and you want to win, and when you don't win, you're very frustrated.
Yeah,
right. Those are emotions
but then
of
what's
anger.
the thing that stops me going out and shooting up a school out of anger?
You can't have a gun.
Oh no, I can get a gun. You can get a gun easily.
No, I don't think it's the restriction. It's just you have a level-headed outlook on, I don't want to hurt other people.
And all of that has come from multiple things. There's no one source. I've never gone like, oh no, actually,
is it
that
the
one
fear
person,
of jail, or just not wanting to murder other people?
I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt other people.
Ross would kill people if it wasn't for the prison sentence.
Yeah, I just don't want to spend time in jail.
Craig, we know, is a killer.
I just think freedom in its purest form, and the idea of personal freedom, is certainly something that
I think it's a fantasy.
You think it's a?
Because I just think, like, obviously you have to walk in everyone's shoes to know what they've been through, how they live, etc. We have never seen through those eyes. I don't feel like you would have ever experienced half of the things other people have in very different cultures, very different.
From being free to do.
Well, sure, but like, that's essentially what happens at the top of government. Like, they can do whatever they want. They've got the money. They can make rules for themselves because they can.
Saying it in like a kind of horrible way, but I want to own a gun that requires 2 arms to fire. Mm-hmm. There's people out there that don't have 2 arms. Like, what? That's not fair for that person, but you get to do it. Mm-hmm. So
what am I using my gun for?
Well, it doesn't matter, but it's like it's unfair for that person.
Why should I have to be limited in what I do because somebody else can't have it?
I think because of the
dangers. That's fine. You can have what you want, but you can also agree that that person's not going to feel the fairness there, and you can't stop that. And there's so many different variables of different people's lives where people feel like they are.
I think the reason people are worried about other people having
no balance, right?
You can't balance
the power.
You can't balance. You can't balance freedom.
Right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you can't balance freedom because someone always feels like they're being downtrodden, or compared to someone else, they have it worse off than someone else. So,
and you're right, and I think that'll always be the case. However, why do I have to live my life as a person who isn't wanting to go out and kill people, cares about climate change, tries to be a good person? Why should I then have to abide by certain rules that other people have set?
Because someone else fucked up.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
why should that impact me? If I'm not impacting other people's lives, why should somebody else fucking up impact me?
Again, going back to Ross's point, they don't know what's going on in your head, but they can use statistics to suggest. No, the people that governing rules and laws saying like guns are banned. Those people don't know that you're incapable of murdering someone else. They just know that mass shootings are happening all the time and something needs to be done about it, and it needs to be a blanket law because it's unfair to give certain people guns and other people not guns. Therefore, they need to make a decision. And sure, you may feel like your freedoms are being encroached upon. However, there needs to be a line drawn because people are dying. And in other countries where gun laws are invoked...
Why is that down to depriving an individual of something rather than a government, an elected government, who apparently is very good at telling whether I'm, a bad person, a good person, all these sort of things?
This is the thing. I think they're not doing that.
Exactly, they're not at all. Exactly.
The thing is, the main issue at hand is you can have your freedoms, but they're not checking properly. They're not doing a good enough job of making sure that they're in the right hands. And there's certain ways where you can't even tell if someone's had previous issues or mental issues or whatever, because the mental health situation in America is not ideal. So you wouldn't even know. So you could just be handing a gun to a madman who just happens to be very calm, collected, but wants to do something horrendous.
Yeah, there's no technology out there.
Well, do you want to lump it all onto someone with mental health, but that is still a factor, right? There's so many different factors. It's
you guys are coming from an idea of, and it's perfectly fine to think like this, prevention is better than cure, right? So as in...
because cure just is so much harder.
Exactly.
Right? So it's easier to take away the thing that
potentially
is destroying
could cause
thousands
harm.
of lives
rather
than
it's
just...
kind of like... we don't...
And I think that's lazy legislation and lazy lawmaking. Not lazy, I know it's incredibly complex, but these people are meant to be the best people in the world at running these things.
But maybe the system doesn't work for the amount of people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason.
Maybe democracy's played out. Is that what you're saying? Because a lot of people do say that. And that's
potentially
that's completely valid.
But also, I feel like there's not enough technology to fully...
Sorry, not democracy, capitalism.
To scan a person and say, this is all the things that they've experienced in their life. This is what they're capable of. This is what they're more likely to do and not do. But then again, if they were put in this environment, which you haven't even seen them in that environment before, how are they going to act there? You just can't fathom or judge a character in that way. You don't know a person that's had their entire life mollycoddled, spoiled, been happy their entire lives. Everything's gone perfectly for them. We don't know that something bad's going to happen to them to, then drive them to do something horrific.
But the only way to counter that is to basically live in a sort of controlled state where you take things away from people that can hurt them.
Well,
in the UK,
obviously
guns aren't legal. You can get shotguns, but you have to get your home checked out by the police. They check out where you have to store your gun, etc. There's several checks or whatever.
It's very complicated.
But what would you want a gun for here? As in what just for fun, just to fire a gun,
shoot stuff.
Are you happy to live without what do you less people to die?
Potentially, yeah. But then I don't feel that's necessarily the correct way to do it. It's just the status quo.
But I think it should be judged on a case-by-case basis, right? How much are you losing out by not having a gun versus all the people dying in the world from guns? And can you live without and have a happy life without it?
You could also have a happy life if somebody plugged fucking tubes into you and put you into some sort of immersive VR.
But that's only there if there's a problem with me not having tubes in me.
But
there's the only reason this is
we're
in
looking
place
at the greater good versus personal freedom.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're getting at. Like I understand what you're saying,
because you have to live in the society.
And am I glad that like if I go out at night, there's a pretty fucking low chance that a guy's going to have a handgun versus going out in like one of the more gun happy states in the US? Yeah. Am I happy that when I hear a big bang, I usually think it's a car backfiring than a fucking person going mad with a gun?
Yeah.
Yes. However, that doesn't mean I have to settle for that.
Sure.
I'm more like just posing the question of like, I'd love like certain things like the fucking scooter thing, right? So the scooter thing's a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
So we bought electric scooters, and a little while back, a couple of weeks ago, there was an article in a free newspaper called The Metro, which is widely distributed in London on public transport and things like that. In that, they said that electric scooters aren't technically legal, so you can't ride them on pavements, you can't ride them on roads. And there's been talk of the police handing out 3 points in your license and £300 fines. And there's we already knew that electric scooters were a grey area. The reason being is they have a motor in them and they go above a certain speed. Therefore, by very old vehicle licensing laws,
1835. Right.
They need to be road taxed, and therefore they need to be checked. You have to have MOTs if you're going to road tax. It's like it's a completely outdated thing. But as soon as that happened, like we knew about that, and we were riding around, no problems, riding past policemen. We were being responsible. We were wearing helmets. We were riding on bike paths and roads. We were trying to be responsible. As soon as that happened, a bunch of people are like, "Oh, don't get caught. You might get 300." People, I think, especially in this country, love laws. They love telling people when they're like doing something illegal,
like
and it's
drones
like, why? I'm riding a clean
because they're not. Yeah.
Because they and you said it to people. It's like, oh, you kind of just wish you had one. They're like, well, yeah, but laws are law, isn't it? It's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like the laws are literally there to put in place to help you live your life as a citizen within this country. When these things are actively taking things away from you, we need to go like, why? Yeah. I honestly don't think we ask why laws are the way they are.
In the context of that scenario, the reason people want to take the guns away is because of all those thousands of people, I guess, now that have lost their lives because of one individual who has kicked off with access to a plethora of weapons that some just don't even seem necessary for an individual to have in their home. Like the ones we fired in America, like literally I've avoided putting the vlog out this week, at least just for that reason alone. Because like we fired, what was it? One was like a M14. It's like it's basically kind of like a sniper rifle, mid-range sniper.
Yeah.
And
it uses
an
a
AR-15
very large bullet,
and like super easy to use, essentially, and really fucking overpowered for home protection. But yeah, you can just buy that.
But what about hunting?
Hunting, yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. That is the main reason you would buy it, right? But I feel like that's not everyone's. There's a lot of people who are saying like, I want it just for home protection.
I'm
just
really
like a handgun
sorry.
seems like the right thing.
I just need to say this. I'm really sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Quick phone call break.
I reckon it's about guns.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think we were comparing scooter ownership to gun ownership there. But I think in terms of restrictions of law, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like, because you haven't ridden your scooter much since.
No, but again, like that's because I don't want to get like 6 points to my license, which apparently is bad. I don't want that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's and it seems kind of petty and weird. I mean, the comments I saw on some of the articles that were posted on Twitter and stuff about it, so people get riled up and go, "Oh yeah, good. I hope they don't get their fucking scooter backs and stuff." It's like, I can't believe people are like so passionate about it. I get that they might be annoying on like pavements for people and stuff.
It's like they're being personally attacked by an electric scooter.
Yeah, but like the footprint of them is almost less than a bike. Like they don't go faster than a bike at full pelt. Like
it's
they're
the same
quiet.
thing.
They use electricity, and we're not using cars to get in.
It's the fear of change,
annoying, really, but
and new things. Like when the Tesla came out, there were so many articles about Tesla car explodes, man falls asleep at wheel and goes into a truck. Yeah. Every single accident that any Tesla's made is reported in the news. It's a big deal, much like plane crashes, because
it's new.
It's so few that like they happen, but people want to get on top of a new thing and scar it.
I guess ultimately because it's alien to people.
Yeah,
I mean, a self-driving car does sound like shit. Like you have no control. Like if somebody does fall asleep in, then they could just collide into a group of people. You don't know.
They want their fear to be a reality, so they can I told you so. Kind of.
Yeah. To be empowered by being like, and we've seen it. We've seen it in our personal lives. Like not personal as in like, but like, day-to-day lives. Like where you see people just like, fucking hell, like it's just like, oh no, you can't do that. No.
Oh, well, very strict on. Yeah, they'll follow the rule to
outrage
the
culture.
Yeah, of
right,
course,
right. Like, and I will. Sorry, you were just making a good point just before I had to go out. Take that. Cool. Like, you're right. Like, for me, you don't need fully automatic weapons for sure. And I completely understand your point. The actual realistic point that by removing these things, you probably are going to have less deaths. I just coming at it from like, hopefully a slightly different perspective of like, and I say idealist, like, but if it's you living your life, making your choices, like, I feel that like heavy-handed lawmaking and really outdated and slow lawmaking, especially in the UK, like our legislation moves so slowly, like
counter.
It's just fucking.
You need a license to use like heavy like machinery and stuff like that. Like I don't even think you need a specific license to own a handgun. This isn't the other thing.
In the US, you can buy them at gun stores, gun shows. Yeah.
The counter is the Second Amendment was made in the 1800s.
Yeah, where guns took a minute to reload,
and they were a necessity to protecting yourself in quite a Wild West time.
Yeah.
Or
also if governments were going, if the population had to rebel against the government.
And if everyone keeps using the Second Amendment as like a, this, it's kind of the same thing. It's like an outdated law.
Exactly. This is what I said at the start. Like, that's the only thing people have to stand on is like, oh, it's my Second Amendment rights. Yeah. We need something newer that I think Americans especially can understand what they mean by, because the idea of freedom, I think, is infectious. When I'm in the UK, in the US, I love how wide open and big it is, and we can go to like the wilderness and we can do what the hell we want. There are these amazing campsites everywhere. There is that element of freedom in the US, and I kind of think people are just looking for some guidance on what that means. Anyway, go on.
Right. Well, I mean, we can move on from that. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like
we've got our limited points of view on it.
Yeah,
so I agree with you. Like in the situation with America specifically, like you're never going to get those guns out of the system. So, yeah, maybe a sensible handgun at home to protect yourself doesn't sound crazy, right?
That doesn't sound insane. You can still kill somebody.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
If you want to defend your home.
We used a fucking tiny ass weapon when we were at that gun range.
Yeah.
And it packs a punch, and it's just like
it does the job, right?
Sure, but like that's home safety, and that's in a place where guns are everywhere. Here we don't have to worry about that. I feel genuinely safer because of it. Sure, somebody can try and knife you and whatever, but they have to get real fucking close. And
it's also like
you can run away from a knife.
At least
the idealistic world is also not being inebriated or being out of mind from your,
being in perfect mental health.
All the time, and not being frustrated or like terrible things happening to you to drive you to be like, fuck, I'm going to make a off the cuff decision.
It's an extremely complex issue, and obviously we probably these are just our thoughts, and we don't really know all the facts about all their laws and stuff. But this is what we see.
3 white guys from England talking about what we've seen. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, please don't take this.
It's horrific stuff to hear about. And I saw a montage of like James Corden's like he constantly like was it kind of where he does speeches about the previous mass shootings and stuff. And there's so many of them that it's just like.
And he's relatively new on the scene in America.
Yeah, like since 2015, I think. And there's just so many of them. It's saddening. It's upsetting that's a thing. But there is a wider issue, that we need to deal with, and it's just not really being addressed, and it's a shame.
Yeah. Either we need Minority Report or some of the Infinity Stones. I think that would
Minority Report would be fucking
terrifying.
I wouldn't want to trust Minority Report, like because of what the kind of in case you do something.
Isn't the whole plot of Minority Report it goes wrong?
Yeah, because obviously they get the wrong person or something, wasn't it?
They had some good ideas.
It goes up back against him, doesn't it?
Yeah,
they think and then he sees his name in the ball or whatever,
and then he goes on the run.
It's an old film.
It's not go into detail about it. It's a great idea.
It's an interesting idea.
Like stopping the crime before the crime happens.
That is pure thought police in that sense. Like you can't think of anything negative or think, I wish I could bloody do something, but you wouldn't actually do it.
Imagine that happening.
And then a raid.
Police come to your door. Excuse me, Mr. Trott. You've literally just woken up, had a cup of tea, maybe you had a stroke or mochi or whatever. Sorry, Mr. Trott. In 6 hours' time, you get to such an enraged mental state you actually end up killing someone. So you're going to have to come to prison now for 25 years.
Well, that's the thing.
That's what it would be like.
Surely it's better to just subdue you for 6 hours and go, well, we kept you busy. Yeah, everything's all good.
Yeah.
Back to bed for you then, son.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
You know what?
Rather than just a prison, straight to prison. You fucking... I can't believe you did that. I haven't yet. I honestly haven't. And I don't feel like I'm capable of that.
That version of me in that reality is a bad guy, but I've got all these other alternative dimensions to just wake up to.
But you can't switch between dimensions. That'd be amazing.
I mean,
if you could.
That would be funny. A Minority Report where they just put you in a Zorb. And they're like, look, you're about to do something fucking rough, so enjoy this.
We're just going to time out.
You're gonna just chill out on this
or just
soft play area,
arm the shit out of the prospective victim.
Yeah.
So it's like, good luck, son. We're giving him a minigun.
Also, we
Here's
trained
some
him.
video footage of what's gonna happen. He's around that corner. Good luck. Oh my god.
We're gonna televise and monetize this shit.
Yeah. Jesus.
Brilliant. You got yourself a plot of a film. Isn't there a film called The Hunt, which is coming out about that?
Yeah. Well, they delayed the trailer for it apparently because of the recent mass shootings and stuff. But that is, it's almost like a Hunger Games style. Like they've just plucked people out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Looks
my
very interesting
pre-Hunger Games idea that I had as a story?
The System.
Which
What's
remembers
this?
it.
Tell me
Well,
what
it was
this is.
post-Matrix, I will add.
It's Matrix influenced, where
Sure.
people are put into a system, like a computer-generated system, where they feel like they're in it.
Cool. Yeah.
But then there's this whole underground thing that's going on where people are being poached.
Oh.
Like people off the streets or like criminals from prison, and they're put into a system whereby there's a mediator, and they're forced to like manhunt first to hurt each other, and it turns out it's all televised and things like
Right.
that.
Oh, okay. So they are in
I
essence,
made Hunger Games
this
for
idea
Hunger
in
Games.
terms of like they plucked them out and then they
Yeah.
forced them to battle in this system.
Yeah.
Right.
But they aren't aware that they're in the game. And then like the whole story that I came up with was they discover that they're in a game and try to game the game.
Right. Okay.
Try and get out.
And when did you come up with this? When was this?
After the Matrix, 2000.
And what you just told Smith and that was it, or
I made like a.
It was quite a long thing, yeah.
did you write this down?
I wrote it down.
Oh, you wrote it down.
Yeah,
wow.
it's on an old
Did you write it in Celtics by any chance?
Yeah.
As a scripted thing.
Oh, was it the elephant thing?
Oh yeah, like Evernote, something like that.
It was something like that. I was just wondering if you could find it again, basically.
Probably not.
No.
It's lost. I mean, they've made the film now.
They've done several iterations of that kind of concept since then, so I should have gotten that early.
Also, Ready Player One, right?
Yeah,
like
that's pretty much it.
Is that similar? I mean,
well, it's kind of a different concept. We're taking like convicts and stuff and pretending that they're in reality again, and then, oh wait, there's all these people trying to kill you.
There's been the idea of a brain in a vat for
a long time,
hundreds of years. Like as in like philosophers have come up with the idea of that sort of thing for a long time. I mean, that's just basic ideas of perception.
The cave theory, isn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
Brain
The cave,
sort
of Plato similar.
Would you
brainstorm
for brain swapping? If you were old,
Christ.
you brain swap
love
your brain into like a younger, like healthier body.
A dog.
Because I mean, obviously your brain. I mean, I guess it would be quite aged at that time, but then, bam, you're in a young body. This is like Freaky Friday.
Yeah,
it'd be amazing.
Do you think you'd go through that?
Well, not even just in a young body, but your consciousness in a different person's mind. So you know how like obviously that person's going to have different memories. They're going to have different ways that they perceive things. They've heard and experienced different things in their life. But ultimately, it's your conscious in the steering wheel, right? Imagine how wise you could become if you did that multiple times. So you could have all these different perspectives.
And then figure out kind of like the best way thing for
I think
everyone.
you'd become a very effective, empathetic person. Yeah. Like I think you'd be a very charismatic person.
The other way around.
Yeah, potentially.
Whereas like you've seen everything now, therefore kind of like vampires.
But I think everyone.
You've lived sick
too
of
long.
humanity.
But
it depends how many people have access to that technology as well.
And also, like I've seen all my loved ones.
Well, you can make it up. I mean, you can make the rules now. You have the power.
This is
Look
your
at that!
world
Wow.
now.
It's just dawned on him. I can create this.
I can enter other people's minds.
This can be
Put it
my
in
world.
Celtics. No, it's not. It's not real.
I've swapped with Muchie.
I'm now.
Imagine if I was just your dog. I got.
I don't know how to get back.
Shit.
I fucked myself.
I'm just. My body's just being controlled by a dog mind.
Damn these paws.
That's basically the fly, right?
Yeah.
It is the fly. Yeah. Well, he merges with the fly, doesn't he?
Or he doesn't. Yeah.
It's half hybrid.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot, whatever it is.
Yeah. Sick.
My favorite porno.
One of my
Jeff Goldblum.
favorites.
Is Jeff Goldblum in The Fly?
Yeah, that is
the
Jeff.
original The Fly.
No.
Isn't the original Fly like from?
There was an original.
was there?
Like black and white. Yeah.
And then Jeff Goldblum did the reimagining.
With Gina Davies.
I don't know.
I don't know. The ginger girl. She was also in Beetlejuice. Anyway, okay. Well, we've done that topic. We have lots of other things we can talk about. At Perplexity Nest. I can't say Perplexity Nest properly.
This is from Twitter.
Says streamers versus video makers, pros and cons to each. Your thoughts. So, like, obviously, so Twitch versus YouTube, essentially.
So
and people who
offline content
versus
made
live
as video on demand versus live streaming, which is like you're
live.
on air, you're live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The benefit of streaming, I think, is you can go live, and that is your content.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to pre-prepare it. I guess you could, but ultimately, what's happening live is the content you're making, and the more hours you put into it, that's a 3-hour piece of content you just did.
It's also very fickle on Twitch in the sense that like the moment you drop off or decide to take a week off for whatever reason, you then lose revenue. So as a job, it's actually quite a mentally grueling one in that sense.
It's an on-demand job.
You keep it up. So, I mean, we're terrible for it in that sense, but like we aren't hardcore like everyday streamers.
You got to want to do that.
That's the main difference I've seen. Like, you know, Sips at the event at the weekend. He was saying, you know, it's great to gain so many, but then he knows that because he hasn't streamed for 3 or 4 days, he loses a load of subscribers. And there are some people out there who obviously don't have as many subscribers as him, and that will just drastically affect their income. So you can see it being quite a almost...
on Twitch, it's so easy to sub and unsub. It's like, I want to give my Twitch Prime to this person this month because I've been watching them more than you because you've been away. I'll just give it to that person. So yeah, like the followers are still there. They'll probably still watch your content for free with the ads and whatever. But yeah, they'll just be giving their money elsewhere.
It's the opportunity cost, isn't it? So like it's you know that you're right. Like live comes with the better, more direct relationship with your audience. But also that means that relationship is more fast moving. So with YouTube, it's like you can upload and schedule content, but equally it's not as quick to call to action. It's not as quick to interact, you know, because it's like that video might have been made two weeks ago.
They pick their time to watch it. And it's always there to watch.
Exactly. Whilst live is more of a, they both parts have to be there at the same time.
They do.
Like,
and it has to fit your schedule, otherwise you'll just watch someone else at your time.
I think it's not the best approach, but it's great for us having both a live and a video on demand thing, because it means we can prepare content for when we're going away or when we're doing something in particular, which live streamers can't do. And then obviously we can stream when we want to try and engage with people. Obviously, if we went pure Twitch, I'm sure we would increase our numbers, but equally that would put more pressure on us. We wouldn't be as flexible, therefore we wouldn't be able to make video content that we want to make, and it's a trade-off. But
and also there's like an art form to creating videos, like the editing process, the thought going into certain sketches. You can't do a live sketch on Twitch without heavy choreographing and multiple cameras, like a full production setup.
And it kind of takes away from the magic of what that live streaming really is, which is this one-to-one interaction with the person you're watching.
Like a video
right?
call with
you
a
see
person.
It happen there and then, and you were there for that moment, right?
Yeah, which, you know, I guess is unbeatable in that regard. It's like, I was there when they did this. I tuned in at the same time I was with them. It's like watching a live concert versus watching it pre-recorded on DVD or whatever.
It's like phoning someone rather than texting them. You know, it's
I think that's what YouTube's been trying to do with premieres, isn't it? Where like, which I don't really understand the format in terms of, I don't really get why you do it versus just releasing the video. But sorry, Much, knocking around. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're trying to get a best of both worlds kind of situation where, I was there when they first released the special episode or something, and I watched it live and we all commented on it at the same time.
It feels exclusive because it feels like I'm getting it before everybody else.
Yeah.
I think premieres only work though when hype already exists. I don't think that like if people are like, I can't wait for the new start of this new series. All of my friends were going to sit down and watch it. We're going to be on Discord and watch it together. Absolutely, a premiere would work in that case. I just don't think that happens very often.
No, like, we couldn't do it for daily content. I feel like it would just frustrate everyone. I'd be
if it's part of a long-running series and like there's a cliffhanger and I can't wait to see how they resolve that or move on to the next thing, next episode, it's going to happen at this time next week.
But then YouTube premieres, all it really does is remove the capability for everyone to watch your videos. Only people that are like, when you're premiering, it's usually members that premieres.
It's members only.
Is it members only? Is it? I think you can set it to members only if you wanted to. You can just release it but they'll jump in halfway through the video. So because it's a basically stream of the video, right?
Yeah, it's an unskipped.
So even if you're like, I'm 5 minutes away and you've missed like the first part.
So you can have live chat with people, so it kind of creates that moment.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just available to everybody afterwards. So.
And it doesn't really impact how much money the creator makes either. Like
if anything, you're probably cutting it down a bit because obviously I don't know.
You could drive memberships by making it membership only feature.
But then all you're doing is removing access to something and then monetizing access.
It's not removing.
Yeah, briefly.
If you're adding to it, if it goes out at the same time anyway,
say. Well, this is what I'm saying. What's the difference between just setting a video live versus premiering it?
Yeah,
it's a live stream, so like you're engaging with it with live chat.
Yeah,
so, and you're seeing it half an hour before it actually goes out. I guess.
So the live chat is really the only element that's special.
And the fact that it could be a bit earlier than what you would normally.
Yeah, but the only reason it's earlier is because you've elected to premiere it. Yeah. which I'm never a fan. I think the things like memberships and stuff on YouTube are great if that person already wants to support you. And I think that's where we a lot of that stuff comes from. Occasionally we'll do subscriber drives and giveaways and things because we want to give something back to people. However, I think that a lot of the time, most of our subscribers anyway are like, I really like your content and I want to support you. Yeah. It's not because, I really want to be the first person to watch that premiere. You know,
this is the thing, and this is a complex thing because we actually updated it the other day, which was like memberships on YouTube where you can now pay like several different things if you want to. And I think the most confusing part for us is like we need a dedicated team of people to make sure that they get given certain things, or like if we hit certain tiers or whatever. I have no idea what people value as much in that sense as well.
What's nice about that is you're putting the value on the person. Yeah. Like, what do you think we are worth to you? And we've given you the option. If you feel like we've really helped you in whatever regards, or you consider us entertainment of this value, then give us that. Otherwise, don't. If you can't afford it, there's another option for you.
I mean, it's a sad state of affairs that we have to rely on those types of platforms because the platforms themselves aren't supporting creators, or it's getting worse and worse each year as time goes by. So it's just it's a shame that YouTube doesn't have a better monetization support.
In an ideal world, though, you wouldn't want advertising anyway, and you would
of course
have that as a system for revenue.
Yeah, but most platforms nowadays, just even if you're like subscribed to somebody on Twitch, you still see their ads, right?
Yeah.
And then when I asked somebody at Twitch about that, they're like, people just didn't seem to care. It's like, I care.
Well, that's Twitch Prime.
Yeah.
It's Twitch Prime that doesn't remove ads.
If you're a Twitch sub as well, it used to be when you subbed up to somebody on Twitch, it would remove ads. But
it's only Twitch Turbo that does that.
Yeah, I think so. It's only Turbo. And that goes directly to Twitch.
That's pretty bullshit.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Back to what Ross was saying about YouTube. It's really fucking annoying that we've been on a platform for 10 years. We've been working really hard.
Your mic's gone dead.
Oh, fuck. Is it still work? Is it working better now?
We are working through Alex Smith getting his microphone
it's back now.
Okay. So, like
it's okay.
All of these creators now, like obviously this is a new kind of job that we do. All these creators now have to work their asses off trying to monetize their audience because YouTube essentially fucked up so badly that now CPMs are basically useless if we get ads ran at all, because they're so terrified of upsetting their advertisers that they just will not monetize anything.
Well, yeah, because now there's a checklist at the back end before you
self-rating.
You self-rate your videos, so you have to be like, and essentially it's tough because there's like 3 options per like I guess genre of issue that they have. So for example, swearing. If you go above like, if you say more than like bitch or whatever in the first 30 seconds, that's considered not safe for YouTube. Therefore, you get no ads whatsoever.
Not safe for advertising.
So you're tempted just to say, well, I didn't do any of these things. But now they're just basically going to double down their punishment on you if you tick those things and they find out as well. So it's just like, it's kind of it's a bit of a lose-lose situation.
It's also like, we can't do the work, so you self-rate your own videos.
Yeah, exactly.
People watch our stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we just don't get the money that other people are getting just because they're being kid friendly.
Our audience has judged it and gone, yes, I like this content. Like we watched
but then
we watched stuff with like South Park's obviously a classic example. For years and years and years, South Park was a very sort of seen as a very sweary thing. But I think why not? People swear. We're dancing to the tune of these advertisers.
It's a genre of content, right?
It's words.
So there are advertisers out there that are fine putting their adult-based content on adult-based, videos.
Yeah.
Hilariously, Pornhub is great at that sort of thing because they're progressive. I told
you about that thing the other day.
What?
Somebody did a test for Google ads.
Yeah.
They tested, I'm not sure what they were advertising. I think it was a game or something. They were testing Google ads and they got like a click-through rate of less than 1% or something. They put it on Pornhub and it apparently monetized really, really fucking well. It got loads of click-throughs, and it's just because Pornhub have a better monetization system in place.
Is it better?
And I guess maybe that the target audience was a bit more appealed to that type of thing.
Yeah, is it better, or is it just the fact that everything is 18 rated and therefore there's no holes barred about what you put on there?
Yeah, potentially.
And
but then again, we can't set our channel to be 18 plus. Even if we have
set videos, but I think it takes monetization off completely.
Exactly.
Then.
Even if
no
something
option.
gets age restricted, it basically makes no money.
Yeah.
So we can either try and protect people by saying like this content's only suitable for 16 plus or 18 plus, but by doing that, we then get shafted in that we make no money from what we're doing. It used to be that adverts were a necessary evil that you sort of went, oh, it's on the side there, or it's here. I might buy that product one day, but I'm enjoying this content. Now we're dancing to the advertiser's tunes.
I know. Yeah.
You know, like we're literally like everything. Oh, is this okay? Don't want to insult your brand. It's like fuck you. It's what I'm making. Like, okay, if YouTube doesn't want to host this shit, fuck off. We'll have to host it on our own servers. But like.
It's frustrating because like, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
So it is
totally out of our hands.
So it's great that we have supporting fans that do help us with that stuff.
And a place to vent our frustration.
And it's just super frustrating. And the thing is, like, you don't want to complain about like this sphere of like job or whatever because it's great. You know, it's really good fun, very a lot of freedom, etc.
Yeah.
But on that side of things, it's
not an idealistic world, is it, Alex Smith?
It's not. No. This is the thing, and this is why I want a gun so I can go shoot up YouTube HQ.
Oh my God!
Can't say that.
No, well that's it. There you go. So make sure to use our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
it actually happened.
It's super frustrating.
Yeah, it did. I wonder why.
Christ.
But
I can't joke about it. Oh, I can't joke about it. Apparently.
You just did.
Yeah, no, I did.
But yeah, no, it's annoying. But there you go. We have to deal with it. And luckily, you guys are supporting us. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Right. Let's see what other people have said. This one you might have some inputs on this, Smith. SB Ijok. No, it's a good thing. It's thoughts on upcoming fantasy shows, e.g. Witcher, which we saw the trailer for recently. Wheel of Time, his Dark Materials.
I didn't know that was.
I didn't know Wheel of Time. I've only heard. I know his Dark Materials. Yeah, his Dark Materials. They're
and
a better
including
fantasy
any books
out.
that you guys are reading.
Well, what about the Amazon Lord of the Rings series? That's the thing I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I've not actually seen anything on it in terms of like any.
So they're doing a series based in the like Second Age, I think it is.
Amazon, right?
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. So they're like following what happens before that. So we might see stuff like, you know, when Elrond was fighting with the elves at the start of the first, when it showed like the great fight when was it Isildur didn't chuck it in the in the fucking thing?
No.
Yeah, like that era. And like, holy crap, I would love if it do that well. Witcher as well, sure.
Are you not worried that they really won't do it well?
Of course I am.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I guess Hobbit did enough undoing that. It's probably not in a bad situation to come and try and build it up again.
Place to be like, oh, finally they've taken it back
to the dark.
Yeah. But will it be like kind of Peter Jackson's vision, or do you think it's gonna be fresh? And like,
I reckon it's gonna be like Game of Thronesy.
Do you reckon?
I reckon it's gonna have like the Lord of the Rings influence, but not Hobbit influence, and it's gonna be more dark, like Game of Thrones, like higher rating. I think a bit more visceral.
That would be good. I think that's what I mean. I love the first 3 films and stuff, but that was kind of missing. Same with like Chris Nolan films. I feel like The Dark Knight and stuff could have benefited from being an age rating up. I know they were like trying to hit 12, whatever. There's so many different things that kind of just it's a dark film. And
it is.
Dark
well, how about this?
Stuff.
Get rid of age ratings instead, rather than having these studios limit their creative vision because they want to get box office success because people are paying for this shit. Maybe just say, it's a violent film. It has this, and this. Decide whether you want to bring your kid to it or not.
Or if there was like it would obviously take a lot more work on their part.
Video game ratings do.
But if they just had, like they do with other things, where they have a cut down version for like TV or whatever, and an actual version with all the gritty stuff in it.
Good shit.
And it's like, well, can I watch the 18 rated version, please? And pay a little bit more, whatever bullshit they do.
Pay a bit more for the blood DLC.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, that's it exactly. But that's what they would do, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
But I don't know how complex that would be.
So the Wheel of Time, I've only just heard about being done. That's a series by Robert Jordan, finished by Brandon Sanderson. I tried reading it. It's
dense.
I think there's 12 books in the series, and the middle is like pretty slow going. So I mean, I'd be interested. I mean, it's one of the most famous and revered fantasy like series that never has been made into anything. Like Lord of the Rings obviously was hugely.
I hope they don't go Dark Tower with it.
What, like the Dark Tower film?
Yeah,
I haven't watched that, and only because a lot of people have slated.
Well, it's just the
was
fact
not
that
very
there's
good in general.
It's nothing to do with the books, really.
Just
it's a reimagining, and it's not the same story, is it?
No,
it's
they've got a couple of the same characters, and
also like
sort of just becomes a fight in New York.
It's considered like Stephen King's magnum opus, like of his books,
of his fantasy books,
fantasy books. Like it's his big deal. Like he's got loads of like loads of books as part of the series, and for it to just be a single film is kind of like, it's not going to do it justice.
Oh God.
But with The Witcher, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. I was very skeptical
I think
going
a lot of
in.
people were, yeah.
But then again, like loads of people are criticizing it for not being authentic. It's like Geralt should have this kind of hair, and well, he doesn't have the same logo. And it's like you're comparing it to the game, aren't you? And not the books.
Well, of course they will, though, because the books were in fucking Polish.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah, you're gonna compare.
The Witcher was a TV show in like the late '80s, early '90s in Poland. You know, like you can find terrible clips of it online and things like that. Like, of course they're going to do that. I know what you're saying.
I think it's a hybrid, though, isn't it?
They're basing it on the books, and that's fine. However, I think that it's not particularly surprising that people have gone like, it's not like this multi-million-dollar super successful game.
Yeah,
like,
which you'd instantly go, I hope it's like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Specific thing.
So but not to shut down your point. Like, I'm completely open to, like, apparently it's a very, very good story. Like, the original is a very good story.
Well, it started off as like a load of different short stories just kind of compiled into a book. So, but yeah, it becomes a bit more like a linear thread storytelling after that.
I think we're all up for more fantasy. I'm obviously up for more sci-fi, like as well.
I just want to see really like hench topless men, with long hair,
with long swords made of solid silver.
Yeah, constantly in oil for some reason. Like, why are they always so shiny?
It's hot.
That's the thing about watching Endgame. When I watched it yesterday, I told you earlier on.
You like Thor in it?
Well, I thought Thor was quite funny in it in terms of what happened. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know if anyone's not watched it.
I think it's all over. Like,
I just got frustrated with it though.
Yeah, just talk about it. It's the highest grossing movie of all time.
But I got frustrated with the fact that like it was just. I mean, it's the same as all the other ones in terms of like super polished. Everyone looks perfect half the time. Obviously, the Thor thing was quite funny. But also just the glamour shots of them all lining up every other scene. The kind of let's take 10 minutes to all put our fucking helmets on before we do something, and then let's have our signatures on our things at the end, which is so fucking. They suck themselves off so often that it makes me not want to watch Marvel. Wow. And I know that obviously there's shitloads of people who love the whole Marvel thing, but oh man, they spent so long just loving themselves. And I just like, oh fuck this, man. Just make the film. There was interesting bits in there. There's some really cool bits, but like. Man, they spent so much time just like, look at this, we've got all our suits on, we're going to take ages and do this. And it's just like...
And when they got like...
For the fifth time, you're like, fucking get on with it. It's 3 hours, a 3 hour long film. Like,
they did that classic, like when they did the big battle, there's like, these are the superheroes that you've not seen together before, posing together before they fight.
Yeah, the staging part
Here's
of them,
all the women!
You got the... fuck me.
I think we're all in agreement about it. Like,
I thought it was enjoyable though.
It's a very successful film. It's not necessarily the best film.
Yeah, it could be edited down to remove just some of the... It's just so long and like just self-congratulatory that it's just like... Ugh.
And just loud and noisy. That's what I find about those films as well. Like, I really loved, like I've said to you guys, I really loved some of the dialogue between Doctor Strange and Iron Man. Like the rapport between the characters and the actors. There's some really good stuff. But by and large... It's just fucking loud and shiny, and that's great. Like you say, it's great fun. Like watching in the cinema, great fun and all that sort of stuff. I understand why it's a box office hit. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a good film. Like,
What's your favorite Marvel film?
Fuck.
I like the Iron Man films. Maybe not the third one as much, but like I really enjoyed the Iron Man character. Right, in general, just this kind of flashy billionaire, whatever. Who is also a genius, can create all this shit. It's just I find that really interesting personally, but I'm quite interested by technology in general.
I watched the first film the other day and it's really good. It's like it holds up so well. Also like Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that
was a good one. Yeah,
I quite like the Doctor Strange film as well. You know, like when he starts as like a surgeon and he's driving his R8 along a thing and he crashes and
it just gets a bit oddball. It's like it explores cool, interesting things.
Yeah. But yeah, by and large, like obviously Green Lantern.
No, that is the best one.
I saw the visual effects thing that Corridor Digital are doing recently of that, and it's just like there's so much to go into about like shitty like CGI bits, and
so
like,
in that moment,
the fact that they had the mask CGI'd on throughout the entire thing, right?
It's like, this is the worst thing you could have done.
Why don't they just use like an actual mask?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, exactly.
But it's like in that moment, to counter that thing coming at you, you chose to imagine a stationed gun, like light machine gun from the 1940s. Really?
But yeah, that was. I mean, even Ryan Reynolds takes a piss out of that, right?
He does now.
I think with the Green Lantern and that whole idea of like you can create anything that you can create your mind is just like an absolute writing nightmare. Yeah. Because you're right, exactly. Like, what do you?
It's too much.
Yeah. It's just like you can do anything.
Well, that's the thing, and also with The Boys recently on Amazon. That's a really good show and really kind of like quite gritty version of like these superheroes who aren't perfect and they're kind of like treated like influencers almost today in terms of like they have
it's
sort
of an analogy for Disney taking on people. Kids, right?
So they're all shiny and polished in front, but then they're actually assholes and dickheads and do all sorts of weird shit behind the scenes.
It's a really great show.
Cool.
And I only just finished watching that. So then watching Endgame, you're watching this polished stuff and they're all just loving each other and
it's also squeaky.
Spending 10 minutes on just like a getting ready shot. It's just it was very different.
I think we've transitioned from when superhero films started coming out, it was like, holy shit, this thing has been made real. Like this is a whole film.
Budget.
Yeah, where I get to see this. Before it was like you'd see it in cartoons, you'd see it in comic books, you'd see it in video games.
But it's always like treated as like either a real niche nerd culture or a kids cartoon show.
And that's why it was so exciting when it started coming back. I think now, as we all know, there's sort of superhero fatigue a little bit, especially with the way those films are made.
There's so many of them now. There's so many superheroes out there to like stop baddies.
Yeah.
It's like, Christ.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Chill out.
I was really impressed by Hulk's animation in general, though.
Hulk.
Yeah.
In
that half sort of.
I thought it was really
Hulk.
really well done.
The technology that they use in those films obviously is driven forward thanks to Marvel and having
got the budget.
Yeah.
They've used it.
Well, let's hope so, because like it wasn't too long ago that VFX companies were going out of business because they were racing to the bottom on their bidding wars. So the Life of Pi VFX guys, they were all out of work. The whole company that did The Life of Pi was out of work before the award for best CGI was even given to them at an award ceremony. And it's a really bad. I don't know whether Marvel are better with their VFX.
Well, they're all in house.
I think there was a documentary about that.
There's multiple companies in. You're right. A lot of them could be bankrupt. And underpaid.
Because it's a bidding war, right? They bid for the contract, and it doesn't, and that's it. But it's terrible working conditions.
We got to shine Hulk's balls in this movie.
Yeah, sweet. We are the contract for balls shining.
It's probably good to work on
2,000 hours of rotoscoping. Got paid £50.
Fuck's sake. Oh my god! Yeah, there is actually a documentary about that. I think I've seen it, where it's literally just about how
freelance.
How they get paid really badly and
stuff.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Big companies don't take them seriously, but hopefully things have changed since then. It probably hasn't.
Probably not.
But yeah.
No. Money.
Maybe we have time for a funny story.
Okay. All right.
I've got so many on here because I got some carried over from last week.
Sure.
Let's see. I put some headlines in here. So somebody was bitten by an octopus on the face, posing with that beak? One. Yeah, with the beak. There's don't put wasps' nests inside your vagina. That was a recommendation.
Oh my god!
And would you drink cockroach milk?
Oh, I want to hear about that.
You want to hear about that one?
Yeah, because I heard about this briefly a while back.
So it's like supposed to be a superfood. So the headline was cockroach milk is the next. Hang on,
but it's not milk, is it?
Next great superfood according to scientists.
Scientists? What scientists?
What do scientists know?
They know nothing.
I think this is quite a sarcastic piece from this person. Was dog semen not an option?
That's a good start.
Solid.
Let me just find the... cockroaches actually don't produce milk as you and I know it. There's one type of cockroach in particular, the Pacific beetle cockroach, or Diploptera
right.
punctate, that gives birth to live young and secretes
4 times
a milk-type substance.
Cow milk, and replicating it could be incredibly helpful.
So yeah, basically it secretes this when it gives birth to its young. But that sounds so fucked up. It's nutritious though. I mean, should we get some in?
I'm still like a little off about goat's cheese because considering a goat getting milked.
What's it about a goat getting milk?
I don't know. It's just kind of, it's not.
How is it any different from a cow?
So used to a cow.
I mean, look at the image of the milk. I know that's obviously just a milk.
Just bathing
cow milk, and they probably just dipped it in there. But still, like that. The idea of it secreting milk and then just coming into cockroaches, just like getting all the.
Do we know what cockroach milk looks like?
No, but I imagine it's probably more translucent than that. I don't know.
You know, shellac nail varnish is made of ground up beetles.
Shells for the colour, is it?
Yeah, something like that. It's like something
That's
about
what's called shellac.
Like, it's made up of a ground up beetle.
Yeah. A lot of red food dyes like that. Right?
If you were given this as like a protein powder, right? This is a protein based thing, and nobody told you. Yeah. It was completely clean.
I mean, we probably have.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Nobody told you where it came from.
Yeah.
The problem comes with knowing where it's coming from. Obviously, people like to know where their food is coming from because you want it, right? You're putting it in your body. But like, ultimately, the only thing stopping this from being a reality is the stigma of cockroaches.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So,
and obviously, you wouldn't prepare it yourself.
Will they have
you would have a little home farm?
Have a tiny little warehouse where they put tiny cockroaches and then have tiny little milkers.
I feel like, well, because it doesn't milk in the same way. It secretes it from I guess it comes from it.
I'm picturing an ant-sized farm, like miniaturized with like the silos and the tiny tractors.
Just upset looking cockroaches. They're being milked constantly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if it'll look like that. I'd like.
Is this a farm for ants?
No, it's a farm for cockroaches.
And their tasty, nutritious milk.
Cock milk.
Oh, Jesus.
Cock milk. That's what I call it. Nice. Cock milk.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be trying it anytime soon. But if we do get hold of it, maybe we should.
I reckon.
Give it a little taste.
This could be my new big thing.
They are grim fuckers, aren't they?
We can try some dog semen while we're at it as well.
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah,
Mochi? She's a girl.
Spider spunk? Is that a thing?
Spider spunk. That's webs, isn't it?
Webs.
That's all webs. In my mind, that's what a web is.
Well, we could.
I got tears all over me.
We could make a really weird, like, what's his name? Blumenthal, that guy who makes crazy ass.
Yeah, Heston
Blumenthal. And then just mix these various weird creature like juices
and
then create a nice little smoothie.
Yeah.
You're up for it.
It's hot. Yeah, I mean,
there's going to be dog semen.
We've all had Huel, which is taking the best parts of nutrition and put together.
Yeah.
Now we want to do that for animals.
Okay.
So we want to go back to animal products.
Yeah.
Well, let's go outside and just find ants and anything, crush them all up, and then just start making smoothies.
We're not killing them. We're getting their extracted fluids.
Okay, so we're not
willingly.
So we're not crushing them.
We want to make them want it.
Okay.
Give us it.
I can only imagine that's pretty fucked up.
I'm disgusted.
But there you go. So that's a great superfood for you all to try at home. There we go.
Cock milk.
And I think that's. I mean, there are a lot of questions and stuff. But we haven't really got time to go through all of them.
We kind of went through a few questions and discussed them anyway.
Yeah, we'll leave ones that we haven't answered for next time and see if we can get around
question.
We have a quick question from Craig.
For the first quarter of this podcast, chat were going crazy with what's up with your ear.
Oh, this?
Oh, yes, of course.
They really want to know.
Oh, so I did a self-piercing at home, and I tried to get big hoops.
Yeah.
But it pulled it out. No, I had a horrible pus build up, and it exploded.
Just an infection.
Are you sure it wasn't cockroach milk?
Also infected.
Just tell people.
Can we mix that into the smoothie? A little bit of the pus from the ear?
I mean, yeah, that could probably heal my ear and then give it a shell.
Chris Trott's lobe pus.
Yeah.
Hot stuff. Let's make some milk.
But if you want a sweet story, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I woke up part dream because I guess in the dream something exploded in my ear. Turns out it was boom, load of blood and pus coming out. You asked for it, and then I went to
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was just blood and pus just
How
pouring
much was it coming out? Was
a
it
lot.
All over your pillow?
Like multiple tissues went through, soaked. Yeah, you think like this wouldn't do much, but yeah. Turns out it's connected to all your other blood in your body.
I didn't believe that for a second.
That's actually.
So you're believing
sounds
doctors.
like you're still in that Matrix world you created earlier on.
Yeah.
You
don't trust doctors.
There you go.
Well, yeah, what a note to end on. So,
you're welcome.
So thanks for listening. If you support us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/hatfilms.
Yep.
If you're already a supporter, thank you very much. You are keeping this.
You'll be listed at the end of this video on the Hat Chat Podcast YouTube channel. If you want to
there are other ways to support us.
There are.
There's Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, you can support us via subbing on that.
And if you enjoy our gaming streams as well, that helps with that too.
Yep. And YouTube now has memberships, and those all are all very similar. I think Patreon's probably the best one for revenue split, but it's all much of a muchness. So whichever you're comfortable with and whichever you use the most, it all helps us, and we appreciate it a lot.
Comes back to us in some form, or if you want someone to take home with you, there's a merch store.
Indeed,
store.yosscast.com where you can get our Hat Chat
Grab a mug. Grab a t-shirt.
Spend all our money on roach milk.
Yeah. And I think the Dead Nuts t-shirt's coming back on sale again as well.
Yeah.
So
we talked about music last episode. We did our performance. It went really well. Yeah. And we could talk about that some other time, I'm sure.
Indeed,
but we've got a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Check it out.
So make sure to subscribe. Check out this specific podcast on Hat Chat Podcast channel.
Yeah. On YouTube.
And we'll catch you next time.
And we'll be for those Twitch streamers, we'll be playing some more games after this, so enjoy that. Yeah, anyway,
that's what we do.
Play us out.
Yeah, play us out, Johnny.
That's not his name. Bye.
Bye. Bye.